I'm here in Mountain View, California, a few hours after Elon Musk did his thing at the shareholder meeting, the annual shareholder meeting for Tesla. And there was, this time around, as you can see, the semi-truck is still behind me, but they also had a white Roadster. It was a non-functional prototype, but nevertheless, that's something we haven't seen before. So it was a lot of people hanging around, and I got some footage of that. So it was kind of a big party, people enjoying themselves, talking Tesla, and the whole parking lot was basically in Model S, Model X, and Model 3s, tons of them here this time around. I'm going to tell you all about it, and we're going to also go over some of the main points that Elon made in his speech, and also answering questions and so forth. Not many news, but some very, very interesting things nevertheless. So we're going to get going with all of this right now. Thank you for those of you who watch me on Patreon. Thank you for supporting the channel. And for those of you guys who watch me on YouTube, please consider subscribing so you don't miss anything moving forward. I should also remind you that this channel and this video is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories. If you're looking to shop there and save yourself a few bucks, please find your discount code in the description of this video. All right, so a lot of interesting things that Elon mentioned. Nothing majorly, just like I said, majorly a breakthrough really, but first of all, he kept his job as a chairman, and the 3 other board members that were also at question up for re-election, they all kept their job with a majority of the vote. As expected, as I mentioned before, it is more of a long-term fallout that can happen from this even being considered, though I do have to say it is kind of a right thing to do. A lot of companies choose to have a CEO as a separate person from a chairman of the board because, let's face it, the job of the board of directors is to oversee the CEO. If it's the same guy, you know, there's some conflict of interest. But looks like everybody was fine with that, so that was fine. He also suggested something new, which is somebody asked him if we can expect a compact car from Tesla, and he said yes, in the next 5 years. Of course, he's not always really good with timelines, but at least the fact that he is thinking about it and that this is something in their plans not only makes sense, but this is the first time he mentions that. So I thought it was worth mentioning. They're also working on a supercharger version 3, V3, and he said that that might just be 2 to 3 times faster than what we have right now. And that's actually big news to me, somebody who actually doesn't like using superchargers. And I've admitted many times when I'm in a rush, I rent a hybrid gas car. If that's not available, sometimes a gas car. And so that's actually something that it looks like they're going to solve. Also, Elon confirmed that the $35,000 version Model 3 will come out in the beginning of the next year. That's unfortunate because by then the tax credit is going to start being phased out, but at least we got a more precise timeline, though he did say 6 to 9 months a few days ago. He also said that Tesla not going to be making motorcycles, though he made a kind of weird comment that because he personally had a bad experience and almost got killed, I guess, when he was younger and riding motorcycles, so they're not going to do that. So kind of a personal decision, I guess, but that he never talked about it. There was another thing. He also believes that by the end of the year, they're going to be able to get a 1 kilowatt hour on a cellular level to under $100. That's another really good news, obviously. They're obviously making breakthroughs with that. They released the Model Y new image. It's just as shadowy as the first one, but we kind of can see it from a different angle. He also kind of joked around, but maybe not, that Model Y may not have a steering wheel, or it could be optional. Again, with advances with the autopilot and self-driving technologies by then, which is about a couple of years from now, he said that's when they're going to start actually producing it. They may not need one, or at least it will be optional, just like I said. He also mentioned that Model 3 production is going really well. They are definitely going to meet the 5,000 cars per week rate, so it looks like they're pretty confident. I guess they're building an extra line as well to help with that. Right now, I think they're at about 500 cars per day rate, which is great. And he said in about 4 to 6 weeks, Model 3 will be available as a showroom model that will be available for test drives. That's something new. Nobody really got to test drive this car at the showrooms because they're just display models for now. So that's another good news. I guess something also slipped maybe because he just never looks prepared for this for these events. But he also mentioned that they're going to be making a major announcement about the Chinese factory. I'm going to assume that they're just going to say that they're going to have one. It looks like somewhere around Shanghai, and so that's something we're going to hear about within about a month. Also, we just like I mentioned, we saw a white Roadster. I guess it's a clay model, but definitely non-functional. There was no mirrors on it. That's how kind of you know. But nevertheless, nobody have ever seen one. So they premiered it today. I'm sure you've seen many pictures on my feed and other Twitter feeds. Overall, it was very positive. On a very positive note, he asked us some questions from the audience and from Twitter. I do have to say that once again, he answered some questions of those vloggers and YouTubers who are very friendly to Tesla. Those were very easy questions, but nevertheless, I thought there was overall there was nothing controversial. It was very informative, and it looks like it gave that positive tone that I thought many investors, just many customers, are seeking from Tesla. So I thought overall it was very nicely done, and I was a little worried, but now it looks like all of the feedback that I've seen so far has been pretty positive. So that's it for me. Really, I'm looking forward to the next time I get to report right next to this semi-truck or maybe other Tesla prototypes. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.